Well, hello and welcome to Anxiety Simplified and going beyond psychology. We are the mother-daughter duo. I am Joanne Williams, a 30-year mental health professional, sharing the science of psychology with tips and tools you can use in your life to handle anxiety simply. Seraphine is off, but she's more the mystic who goes beyond the mind's understanding for alternative ways of healing. Today's show is on how to defeat a panic or anxiety attack yourself. Really an understanding of this, because I see it more as managing the anxiety or that goes into a panic attack. And I'll describe exactly what those are. But it can be challenging, I admit, if you think it will. But there are several strategies and actually 10 ways that you can help manage anxiety that we will be going through. And it really is about learning skills, ways to be able to cope better with the anxiety. And I assist clients every day in my private counseling practice with anxiety as well as panic attacks. And the first thing I really hear from clients is actual denial that they're having a panic attack or anxiety attack. We consider them same thing. Clinically, the symptoms are classified as a panic attack if you just have 4 of the 13 symptoms that I will define in just a second. But most clients think they have to be on the floor, writhing in pain, or can't breathe, or think, they're going to die, which is one of the symptoms, to be considered a panic attack, or think an anxiety is lesser than a panic. We consider them the same. It's just the number of symptoms that you have. But the definition of a panic attack or panic disorder in our manual, our DSM-5 manual that we do use to diagnose, that this comes straight out of, that it is a burst of extreme fear or anxiety that occurs within minutes and has these symptoms of these possible 13 symptoms, like your heart is racing, you get hot, sweaty, short of breath. You could even have just clammy hands, trembling or shaking, hot or cold sensation, and sometimes people have both, shortness of breath, or people will notice the breathing is upper part of their mouth, upper part of their chest, or they're doing mouth breathing out through their mouth quickly, which is why you can get dizzy or lightheaded or pass out. And of course, we don't ever want that, because that's when people really get fearful that that's going to happen again. And I'm going to tell you about a breathing technique that you will breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, and you cannot pass out. Okay. You just can't. When you're getting oxygen directly to your brain, that's what it needs, a combination of CO2 and oxygen, the right amounts. And so if you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, you're going to get the right amounts. You cannot pass out. And it will stop that rapid breathing that I think sometimes people really fear the most. Also, there's symptoms of tightness or pressure on your chest. And that's what sometimes people fear they're having a heart attack, and they go to the ER because they don't know what's happening. And again, this is a symptom of anxiety. And usually people have to go to the ER at least once or twice for somebody to tell you this is not a heart attack that you're having, it's an anxiety attack. And as we go through this, you're going to look towards your thinking in that moment. What was I thinking that started this process? And you'll notice it's some kind of stressor. You can even feel nauseous or have gastric issues. Feeling disassociated or disconnected from reality, which can again be kind of a scary feeling. Some people describe it like being in a tunnel, kind of cut off from everybody. You can kind of hear the wah, 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 wah around you, but you're not connected to it. And it can feel kind of scary. But again, once you learn some techniques that are skills that I'm going to share with you today, you can start to come back. One of them is grounding and just kind of getting connected, even if it's just grabbing the seat you're in and just kind of feeling like you're grounded or counting things around you. Just kind of bring yourself back. Breathing will do that as well. There can also be tingling or numbness in your extremities, hands, feet, lips. That again scares people like they're having a stroke or a heart attack. Again, as I describe this, you're going to see that your body is responding to what you're thinking, that you're going to die. And so it's pulling the blood in your heart, stomach, major organ regions so that you can run or fight to survive. Or even some people feel like or fear they're going to die from these symptoms before or after an anxiety attack. So it's actually a symptom in an anxiety attack that you fear or feel like you could die. So again, I want you to hear these symptoms so you can go, oh my gosh, that's what this is. Yes, it's an anxiety attack. And you're not going to die from them. And you do need to have them checked out because a lot of times you're not going to believe anybody telling you any die, but I feel like I'm going to die. And that's true. So you do have to have it checked out. But I am going to share some ways to intervene so that you can stop them, really stop the progression or stop the getting up the momentum that starts to happen when you have this fear cycle. Really, so you can break through these and feel better even within minutes with a breathing technique that I will share. But anxiety disorders usually arise when there's intense fear or perception that I'm overwhelmed or things are out of my control. And then again, to be a panic attack or panic disorder, you have to have one of these attacks that are followed by persistent concern about additional attacks. And then you can have behavioral changes associated because you've had these attacks. Usually it's avoidance is the main issue that I help clients with to deal with. And it's avoidance of people that bring these on, places that bring this fear up. But there are absolutely ways to manage the fear or this anxiety if you're willing to stop avoiding the places or things that frighten you so much. A lot of this even becomes you've imagined it much worse than it actually is, but your brain believes you. But you can also believe that these will kill you, and they do not. But most times that is the main thought that you are having, that whatever's going on is going to kill you. So why wouldn't you be afraid, right? Why wouldn't you be afraid if your brain is telling you this is going to kill you? Or it's time you're going to have to try to survive this, to fight or run away. So the body is really complying with your thoughts, and it's pulling the blood, like I said, from your extremities. That's why you can get the tingling and numbness, to give you the energy with adrenaline so that you can run or fight. And so when you avoid, you're actually reinforcing or strengthening the fear response each time. You don't confront this reality, really. Is this thing going to kill me? That's what I used to think. That's an old pattern. It's not true anymore. Yet, a description of anxiety is a feeling of fear, of nervousness or uneasiness, which may be something imminent occurring. Public speaking is number one fear symptom that most people do fear. Another example might be flying in a plane. That's when I deal with a lot with people, so they get an emotional, not anymore, psychiatric service dog to fly with them. And so And sometimes going to doctor's appointments, they fear hearing test results and, anticipating bad things. It's natural emotion to get ready. You're prepared to deal with that circumstance. But some people seem to have even a deep desire to regulate circumstances instead of changing their own internal system of thoughts and emotions themselves that they can control, because it's much easier to control your thoughts and feelings looking within than changing outward situations. But I'm telling you, relationships, same thing. Darling, why don't you just change whatever bugs me? Then I'll feel better. That's one way, but I'll tell you, you might meet some resistance there. And instead of changing the way you're looking at the situation, changing your emotions or thoughts about that situation is more under your control. Otherwise, you can get caught in an endless cycle of constant concern with these tragic thoughts. And these are considered anxiety conditions or diagnoses, such as generalized anxiety disorder, kind of an impending doom feeling, panic attacks. We're just talking about phobias. Phobias are just intense fears that have gone into certain areas, spiders. It can be elevators, enclosed places, crowds, or social anxiety. If this affects your everyday home or work situations, sleep, or social situations, that's when it is considered a disorder. But maybe you're going into crowds and the pandemic has made it worse. But the good news is that there are ways to resolve these fears and deal with the anxiety and panic. And we're going to share 10 ways to really intervene or cut into and break off this chain of fear of concerns about the thoughts that progress into an anxiety or panic attack. Because if the anxiety is a concern about anticipating something that could or might happen in the future, or avoiding it, that's just so you get prepared. It's not that it's impending doom. Those are the thoughts. And I'm going to go into an example of flying in a minute. But 99%, and this was a study actually, 99% of all the fears or problems you think about never happen. So there's only 1%. And you're spending all this time worrying. I like the definition that worry is unproductive problem solving. You're just not using your time well. And we're going to learn some ways to deal with this anxiety, and it saves lots of time by honestly creating positive thoughts to interrupt this anxiety cycle of concern before it gets the head of momentum. And it's virtually impossible, very hard to stop it once it gets that momentum of progression that does go into anxiety or panic attack. Think about it. Would you rather think, and this is you if you fear flying, and if you notice what you're thinking is, most people, oh my God, it's going to crash and I'm going to die. And that, or what if you thought, oh, it's safe. It's kind of exciting where we're going, what we're going to be doing, or it's a challenge I'm ready to meet. Which is going to make you feel calmer and better? I'm going to crash and die, or I'll meet the challenge, right? I want you to know you get to choose this, but you're not conscious of it. It's already down so far, and you've got a habit of constantly going to the worst case scenario. Oh my God, I'm going to die. Instead of, oh, let me think about this, feel this. Is that the truth here? 99% of this doesn't happen, maybe I need to rethink this. Okay. So the first in this process is to notice your thinking about that situation. That begins the process. And hear what you say to yourself and check it out if it is true or not. And if it is not, what else could you be thinking in this moment to give you calm? feel calm as I fly. I'll be fine. I can do this. If you choose to have a psychiatric service dog, you could have them beside you or on your lap. And it's like, oh God, I feel so much better. You can also check out anxietysimplified.com website for a free download of a cheat sheet as a guide on how to apply this process of change your thoughts to change the emotion that will change your outlook. Okay. Or if you're interested in getting a psychiatric service dog to help you with your anxiety, you can also go to esapros.com. And that's ESA like emotional support animal, esapros.com. And you can see more if you'll qualify or not. But the dogs can help you manage your anxiety. They can also help with post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, anxiety, autism, meltdowns, or even meltdowns with people with dementia. So you can get some help in lots of different ways. But it really needs to start with you looking at, what are you thinking here? Are you thinking hopelessness? These thoughts are defeating you. Don't let them. And it is important to seek help if you are suffering from panic attacks by visiting your doctor if you choose. They are offering antidepressants for anxiety now instead of the most like the Xanaxes of the world that they showed. They're short term and they're very addictive. So there are medications that can work if you want. Counseling with medication actually works better than either one alone. You're more than welcome to email me, call me, ask me if this is something you think that I could help you with. I'm happy to if I can. Or if this is a work issue because your boss at work or a colleague, if you don't feel like you can discuss it with them, you can also talk to the HR department at your work and tell them about your anxiety, about what's going on there. Because actually you have more protections if you do that. They really can't fire you easily. They have to accommodate you, give you more time, or deal with the situation. And there's nothing to be ashamed of here. There are solutions. That's the main thing I want you to hear. There are solutions for panic or anxiety attacks, and you can learn some ways to treat them. So let's talk about 10 ways to manage or prevent. I'm talking prevent panic attacks. One of them is the 4 and 8 vagus breathing technique that is medically proven to lower anxiety, depression, and a lot of other things. And all it is, it's one of the simplest things you'll ever find. I've got a podcast on it that you can see, number 150. 150, and it's on all the major platforms. Anxiety Simplified podcast. I will be putting this up on YouTube as well. You could see it. But the 4 and 8 vagus breathing, these medical researchers were looking for a combination of inhale, exhale that would stimulate the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is one of our longest, largest nerves running all the way from our gut to our brain. And it's got these, I call them tentacles. I'm sure they're nerve endings, but these tentacles that wrap around every major organ. And as you do this combination of inhaling in your nose, 4, exhaling out your mouth, 8, it stimulates the vagus nerve. And it sends a calming chemical, acetylcholine, into your system to relax you, to feel calmed within minutes. You can do it anywhere, anytime, and nobody's going to notice. And I'm going to just do inhale through your nose, 4, exhale out your mouth, 8. You do a round, 5 rounds is 1 minute, 10 rounds is 2 minutes. And then notice how it makes you feel after you've done that combination. 4 inhale, 8 exhale. And I can just feel it immediately kind of calm me down. You might even notice I speak a little slower even as we do this. Okay, the vagus breathing, do it, practice it. The researchers found practicing it 3 times a day for 2 minutes for enough days that you can actually get results to lower anxiety, depression, It lowers your heart rate, your blood pressure, they found, helps you think better, have better test recall. The list went on, and even inflammation, migraines, this list went on and on. You can look it up online and see all the great results from just doing this one thing, 2 minutes, 3 times a day. Do it. So here's some other ones. Number 2, we kind of talked about the deep breathing. There's also progressive muscle relaxation. You can Google that. Um, and what you do is, I like to do it for sleep. Also, the 4 and 8 breathing can help with sleep, because you do the counting 1, 2, 3, 4. As you breathe out, count the 8 out. But you can add the progressive muscle relaxation of just tensing, starting at your toes, and tense and release. And then move up, to your calves, tense and release. Keep going up your body, then tense and release. And as you do it, you can almost feel the tension or imagine, if you can't feel, imagine it melting off your toes as you do it. Keep going all the way up to your head. Do your face, even scrunch up your face even. And you can just, feel the tension even in your face, on your scalp. Even feel how tense your scalp gets. I think we're thinkers a lot. And so you can feel the tension leave you. Great one I found for sleep. Challenge your negative thinking. That's what I was talking about earlier, that your mind is filled with these thoughts, and they're catastrophic thinking, or worst case scenario, the what ifs, I call it. Challenge these. Is that really true? That can't be so, and replace them with more realistic ones or positive. Remember, 99% of these worries do not come true. Why waste your time on those? Get prepared. You're ready. I'm okay. Let it go. Otherwise, what I consider, it's self-abuse. You're beating yourself up for something that's anticipatory and is not even real. Number 4, mindfulness. Meditation to me is critical. If you've got anxiety in general, more or less panic attack, practice mindful techniques or meditations daily to help you stay present and reduce anxiety. Or you can focus on sensations in your body or your immediate surroundings. Even feel the anxiety. Where do you feel it in your body? Sit with it, breathe through it. 4 and 8, just sit with it and breathe through it. And you'll notice it leave in minutes. Instead of your thoughts going, oh my God, this is never going to go away. I'm going to have this forever. I'm going to be on the floor. Breathe through it. Oh my gosh, it went away. Oh my gosh, even in a minute, just breathing through it. It's amazing what you can do. Number 5, create an calm environment. Find a quiet, comfortable space where you can relax each day. Surround yourself with soothing elements, soft light, calm music, or aromatherapy with essential oils. It's almost like self-care. What is your self-care routine? Use grounding techniques. Engage your symptoms to ground yourself in the present moment. You can name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. Helps you stay in your body. Seek social support. A lot of what's happening is you just don't feel connected with others. Reach out to a trusted friend. Oh my gosh, this is happening. Can you just talk to me for a few minutes? Talking to somebody can give you comfort and reassurance. That's what you're always looking for with anxiety, and it can be really helpful in any of these episodes. Avoid caffeine and stimulants. Reduce or eliminate your caffeine use. It can increase anxiety and trigger panic attacks. Similarly, limit your intake of alcohol and nicotine. Regular exercise is critical. That's even been shown to helpful in German studies to help with depression. Looking at the horizon as you walk instead of down, look at the horizon, and just watching can help to reduce this. But any kind of physical activity is critical to your overall well-being. Choose activities like walking, jogging, maybe yoga or dancing. Have some fun with it. Move your body. Please, please, please seek professional help if these panic attacks are significantly impacting your daily life or functioning. Consider professional. Please call me. Don't hesitate. I'll give you recommendations. And you can also find on the back of your insurance card an 800 number, your medical insurance for the providers that your insurance will help pay for. And then tailor it around strategies. You want to learn tools for what to do with these specific situations. I'm going to do another one on driving anxiety. And so that for help you specifically. And remember that everyone's experience with panic or anxiety attacks is unique. And so it's essential to find the techniques that work for you. So be patient, kind, and loving to yourself, and give yourself the time to practice these and develop new skills. The 4 and 8 breathing will absolutely kind of calm you as you learn them. So please, please, please be kind to yourself. And you can see more about getting a psychiatric service dog if you want it. ESA pros.com. You can also listen to us on the radio on our Anxiety Simplified show that always go beyond psychology now on the Power Me Up station on iHeartRadio Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific. And we have an encore show on Mondays at 4:30 Pacific. So please listen in. Our YouTube channel is Anxiety Simplified Podcast, where you can see this video. And for energy sessions with Seraphine, you can go to seraphine.com. That's SERRAPHINE. And she does miracle work with clients to really get down to resolve the root causes of some of these fears and anxiety. So I want to thank you for listening. This is Joanne Williams, and we want you to live your purpose. So bye for now.